Let's talk about what we're doing today. So today I bought a boom in order to attach a winch to it so that I could, as I work alone a lot, I had the opportunity to lift heavy things and put it in trucks or do whatever I had to do with it. But the first thing you have to do is mount this super heavy, thick bar, boom, holder, rail, I don't even know what the hell it's called, to the wall. Well, there's no real easy way to do this by yourself, and the thing weighs about 30-40 pounds. So when you're working by yourself, you have to get creative. So what I thought I would do is first find the center of the boom so that I can just put it up with a screw, and then I can come back later and drill all the holes. So to do this, couple quick things. Need a punch. Need a hammer, because if you got a punch, you need a hammer. All right. Mark the center, which I'm going to do with a speed square, adjustable speed square. Gonna find the center, gonna mark it, then we're gonna go ahead and drill the holes. Okay? So let's see how that goes. Okay, here we go. So Ryobi, because I love Ryobi, I have a lot of Ryobi. First thing we're going to do is drill a smaller pilot hole. Because without the pilot, well, first what we'll need to do is mark that first hole with the punch. So we take the speed square, and I'm going to see that it is a total of 17 centimeters. Now, for those of us who live in the United States, let's use the proper side here. So that would be, we're at 6 and 5/8. Okay, so then we come over here to the 3 and 9/16, that'd be halfway, and we mark it someplace close to the middle here so that it can support the weight. Okay, now we got that. Just give it a smack with a hammer. As you can see, it's now marked. Now, I have this fancy, when you work alone, you always lose your tools. You should get one of these. They really do help you keep track of things so you don't spend all day looking for your tools, which I tend to spend all day looking for my tools sometimes. So let's start with drilling that first hole. Now, since it's already marked, super easy. It won't walk around because you already have it started. All right. Here all the way, because if you do, you'll burn out your drill. So look at how well that's drilling. I don't know if you can fully see it. Drilling pretty easily. Keep going. Okay, it's through. That was the pilot hole. So we pull this off. And of course it sticks right to my magnet strip. Because this way you don't lose all your tools all the time. Anyway. Now I put a little larger bit on. It's already got the pilot hole. Don't press down too hard, you'll bind it up right at the beginning. You just gotta lightly get it started. Wait for it to chamfer a bit. And then go ahead and give it a little more pressure. See how fast that was? If I had tried to drill that hole with that large bit right in the beginning, it would have taken forever, trust me. it was just such an easier job. Drill it out a little bit. Then you go to the larger bit. Now let's see how it does when we go to hang it on the wall. Okay, so you can't zoom in for some reason, so I'm going to have to show you what I'm doing from a distance. Alright? See how large this bar is. Let's see if I can manage to not hurt myself up here working alone, which is part of the problem. You work alone, you have to be creative. So, we got to be creative. There just happens to be a nail here, so I'm using that nail to hang the screw on. I'm just going to kind of get a little screw hole started so that when I go to put the real screw in, it'll already be started and it'll be a lot easier to put in place. Okay? I'm going to set this level down here so that it's not in the way of the bar that is quite heavy. Okay? I'm going to go one more step. Now I have the level here because once I get it on, when I flip it upwards, I'm going to use the level to kind of ensure we have it. Hey, look, see how easy that was? Because I pre-drilled the hole. Now, I will flip it upwards like this. And by the looks of it, I'm going to have to marry a board next to this to give it more space because I don't want to put these bolt holes in really close to the edge because they'll just rip out. So to make it safest, I'm going to have to put another board next to this one, put a whole bunch of glues and screws in there so it's carrying the weight, and then pre-drill it and then drill that way. But I have this bar on there. And the first thing I should do is ensure that I have that right there, level, about 16th up on each side. Okay. So it's going to take me 1 second to get that started. So I'm going to have to go up another rung on the ladder. I marked it with the little pencil in my hand while I was up here. Now, some frame of reference, this is an 8 foot tall ladder. I am quite a ways in the air. That does not always make you feel comfortable. Okay, so, and there's literally nothing to hold on to. This is not good. Alright, let me see if I can just swing this over real quick. See where it's gonna go. Pre-mark it. Here's where the screw's gonna go. See if I can put that screw in, or do I need to actually pre-mark it? Up there, point tight. Look at that. I could probably hang at that. It gives me a lot more confidence now. A couple brackets that's got to go on here. I got to put in the lag bolts into this heavy 8x8. But it's coming along. And then I got to hang a winch from it and it's rated for 1,300 pounds. Well, 660 pounds because they're going to put it out the edge. But we are well on the way. That is exactly where I wanted it. I am thrilled. I no longer need the level because it's level. Don't let it in the trash. Oh, I'm going to break it. Toss it nicely into the storage area. Well, hello. Okay, so obviously there was a short break in the video. I wanted to say hello again. Here's what happened. So I put on the bottom bracket, but when I put the bottom bracket on, there were a set of races, little bearings that were there, and they were not greased. And even if the bearings aren't greased, they should be greased. So don't always trust the parts that you get in the mail that they are set up 100%. Do your due diligence to ensure that you've gone ahead and greased everything. So in this case, there's a lower washer with a groove in it, a set of bearings, and then another washer with a groove in it. So you set the bearings, the grease bearings between those two washers, and then there's a final washer that sits on top. It kind of holds it all together. Alright, so what happens after? Well, this is the easy part. The second piece that should go on is before you can slide this big bar up. I probably should have waited to bring the bar up here, but you know, nothing like rushing. Okay, there's the back piece, front piece. Front piece has a little nipple. That's what this bar hangs. You gotta be facing up. Wouldn't do any good facing down. So, super easy. It's only a very long bolt. You probably can't even see it. A lock washer and a nut. That's all there is to it. So I will just put it on like that. Just slide it through. It's not my intent to torque it down. I just kind of want it to be held in place so that I can come up here and bring a camera up here and show you guys how it looks with just that much done. Alright? So it's probably going to slide down. So you can slide down to the bottom. That's okay until I'm ready to tighten it up. And I had brought up with me the 19 millimeter that it asked for before I came up here. So I didn't have to keep going up and down the ladder, which I'm not a fan of, because I'm chubby. When you're chubby, you don't like going up and down ladders. Awesome. I got the secondary nut in here. And I'll line this other nut up a little better so that I can go ahead and torque it down. And I'm just going to slide it to the top and just tighten them. Hand tight. Right there. Okay? Just put a little tension on that lock washer. Then I come in here behind it. I want to make sure that these are wide, the top and the bottom, so they won't bind. I just want to make sure they're lined up. And I'm just going to tighten it a little bit to put some tension on these nuts of this bracket so that I can go ahead and tighten it the rest of the way. Oops. There I was loosening it because I don't know what a righty-lefty looks like when you're up on a ladder. So, again, that hand tight. There we go. A couple more tight turns on there and it'll stay. There we go. Now it's staying in place. Now I just kind of want to get to a point where I can tighten it down. So that's what we're going to do. We'll tighten it down. Bear with me while I'm tightening these things up. Not glamorous. Probably not a very good angle, but needs to be good. Alright? And then what do I have to do after I get this all tightened down? Well, that's something in and of itself. I got to drill these 4 bolts on top and bottom and go ahead and put some lag bolts in there so it'll never move. And I went ahead and put a pressure treated board in, just because I just feel like if there's ever any water, which there shouldn't be because it's 8 feet in the air, or rot or anything else, it's just resistant to all of those things and makes it so that it just seems to be more hardy of a board. And since it could very well be holding a lot of weight, I just thought it'd be best to put in the best board possible. And as you can tell, these are getting pretty tight. Okay, so top bracket and bottom bracket are installed. Now comes the interesting part. Theoretically, this armature, but just hang on it. I went ahead and put it together on the ground. So this is set up so that bottom one goes in, and then as top one gets lined up, and then you just pull the bottom one into place. Right? And as it rolls, see, it wants to be out of the way. Kind of set up to put traction on it as it gets higher. No, I think that's right, because it wants to, yeah, we're good. Okay? Oh, and while I was up here, I brought a pin. Let me go ahead and put a pin. This way, it'll already have a slight separation in it, and I can easily separate it here. It will never come out. I hope. Nothing to do. Guys, just need some extra fingers. There we go. Okay. There we go. Next thing I'm going to do, put these bolts in. After the bolts are in, I've already purchased a winch that's going to sit out here on the armature. May actually pull the arm for that since it's only 2 pins and do it all at once, but who knows, we'll see. That'd be pretty heavy to carry up here. But we're good. That's a good 8 feet in the air. That'd be perfect height to help me move stuff around, put in the bed of my truck and other items. Yeah, big heavy sigh. I promise I get better. Sometimes I tend to get a little overly focused on the project and forget to record. Let me show you how it's done now. Let me show you what I did and how I set it up, and maybe it can inspire some other people to put a nice little lift, little mini half-ton tool, boom, whatever you want to call it, crane, not really a crane, in their shop to help them move things around when they work by themselves. So let's go. Let me walk you through some of these things. All right, so first I mounted that heavy bar, and as I showed you, I drilled a little hole in the middle, and then I plumbed it, put the heavy bar in place, and once I had the 2 screws in and it was plumbed, I came back and put on the brackets. This one here has, if you look, it's got a race in the middle of those 2 heavy washers with a groove. I greased them, and then there's a little washer on top to hold it all in place. It just ensures it doesn't get wore out faster. These are all torqued way down. No, that cable will not be pinched. That doesn't move. It's just kind of wrapped around the base since none of that stuff down there moves. So after I got the 2 braces in, I came back and I bolted. Now the bigger washer, it had a very large hole. I just wanted to fill the entire hole, just give it additional backing. I'm sure the small black washers that came with the lag bolts would have been fine. I just wanted to ensure I had a little bit more support. So I did those. So those were all bolted in. I did put a brace on the back side. There are no screws anywhere near where the lag bolt goes through, and it's a little long on both sides in order to provide a little bit more stability to the board once the lag bolts went in. Although most of the weight is being carried by the 8x8, just wanted to be sure. Then it comes across. I stretched it out a little bit. This is up to 1,100 pounds, I believe. It could have went out another 4 inches. I could move this bolt and slide it out another 3-4 inches. This is fine. So this whole thing's set up. This wasn't tough. The only thing tough about this was set up for this larger receiving bar, since I mounted it on the smaller bar because I wanted it out a little further. I had to put some washers underneath in order to take up the space. Otherwise, I couldn't tighten it all the way down without really messing with that bracket. And I didn't want to lose the integrity of the bracket. So now it's in. Let's see how it works. Bear with me as I go down this very tall ladder. And I just mounted, I know, it's super simple, right? I just put a couple screws in the wall in order to hold the bracket. So let's see. Down means down, right? And here we go. If you look here, it says turn. I locked it so that nobody would mess with it, and if they, well, assuming they can't read. So down. There you go. And then just that easy. Back up. And snug it up, and then I'll just bring the bracket, slide it back in my fancy smancy bracket holder, and put a couple of loops on the cord so it's all the way, and hang that up there all the way. So now, and that swings, of course, so that'll swing 90 degrees either way, 180 degree pivot. They give me plenty of room. So now if I need to work on something that's heavy, I can just bring it over here, lift it up, and I no longer have to worry about lifting heavy things by myself. That thing's rated for, like, I think it said 1,130 pounds at that distance. So I'm pretty happy with it. Have a great day. Come back often. You know I make all kinds of videos about all kinds of randomness. Have a great day.